Hi there, everyone. I'm Ashley Bullington, and welcome into the Campfire, where we're breaking down districts from around the Metroplex. This week, we're deep diving into 7-5A Division II, and we're going to kick it off with our film session presented by Cricket Wireless.
7-5A Division II really showed out last year as Lovejoy made it all the way to the regional final and came within 4 points of knocking off Aledo. Ralph Rucker and Reed Westerville are gone, but the Leopards do return some solid talent, especially on defense where Ralph's little brother, Trent, roams the secondary. Head coach Chris Ross has certainly changed the culture in Lovejoy, so expect the Leopards to be in contention right to the end. A team to really look out for is the Denison Yellow Jackets. They return quarterback Caleb Havener and Notre Dame commit running back Jadarian Price. But not only that, former South Grand Prairie head coach Brent Whitson has taken over the coaching duties at Denison, so expect them to be a playoff team. Of the Frisco ISD teams, Liberty may have the most talent. District Newcomer of the Year, Keldrick Luster, is back at quarterback with another year of experience under his belt, and he has speedy Evan Stewart to throw it to. Look for the Redhawks to be a playoff team as well. Frisco High has size on the line, but is still lacking in skill position players, so they will have to battle to make it to postseason. Frisco Memorial returns one of the best receivers in the district in Zion Steptoe. Lebanon Trail was on the brink of playoffs last year and could push that into the final spot this year behind junior running back Gregory Hatley. Prosper Rock Hill managed only one win in their inaugural season last year, but with the return of quarterback Brenner Cox, the Blue Hawks could be a threat for the postseason. With Rock Hill's numbers rising, this will be their last run at 5A. Princeton and Lake Dallas will not be easy outs this year either, so expect a highly competitive district in 2021.
The film session is presented by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Some really good teams in this district, and they all have some top-notch talent. Let's introduce you to some of those players on the Rise.
Quite possibly the best receiver in the state is Evan Stewart of Frisco Liberty. The senior has blazing speed and has used it to get open from the outside and in the slot. Last year, Stewart had 46 catches for just over 900 yards and 9 touchdowns for the Redhawks. Evan is also a decorated track star as he won state in long jump this past May and was part of the gold medal winning 4x400 relay team. Stewart is heading to Austin after graduation to play for the Texas Longhorns. Staying in Frisco, Memorial Zion Steptoe is also a top flight receiver. Steptoe caught 37 balls for 790 yards and 8 scores for the Warriors last year. Another fast wideout, Zion averaged 21 yards per catch last year and will be another deep threat for Memorial this year. He has offers from Purdue, Utah, and Vanderbilt, amongst others. At the running back position, there isn't a better showstopper than Denison's Jadarian Price. He has great instincts on the ball and has the power to break through armed tackles with ease. Price ran for 1,100 yards last year and 18 touchdowns as the Yellow Jackets finished third in district. Look for another big year from the senior before he heads off to play at Notre Dame. There are a lot of big O linemen in the district, but Cole Hudson of Frisco High may be the most skilled. Hudson is 6'4" and 290 pounds and just bowls over his opponent. Whether it's the ground attack or the passing game, there's just no getting around this massive man. He has offers from Texas, Oklahoma, and Alabama, amongst others.
Some really great players in this district, and they are led by strong men as their head coaches. We bring in one of those guys in our Media Day segment.
All right, 7-5A Division II. We are joined by Rock Hill head coach Mark Humble. Coach, first year last year of existence for Rock Hill, and you took your lumps, but now we were talking off camera, you guys are in a bit of a routine here, and maybe you can turn those lumps and kind of smooth them out a little bit for 2021.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what an amazing year just to be able to play and to be competitive in our first varsity season. And like we were talking before we went on air, we experienced many firsts last year, our first football game, first varsity season, first win. And now we're getting into the part where our kids are finally getting into a routine. Last year, we didn't have an off season. We didn't have football skills, didn't have a spring football season, didn't have a spring game, and just were thrust right into the school year and a varsity football season. Now this year, we've had our first off season. We've had our first football skills, had our first spring ball, had our first spring game. And now we've gotten to the point where we get to a portion of the year where our kids recognize a routine of starting with summer strength and conditioning.
Well, as you guys get better, this whole district was amazing last year. And I'm sure it's getting better too with Lovejoy with their big old run, and Denison's coming, and Liberty's probably got one of the best players in the district with Evan Stewart. How do you see you surveying this district this year?
Oh, there's no doubt this 19 district might be one of the most competitive, most toughest in the state. I mean, you talk about Lovejoy, you talk about Frisco Liberty, you talk about Frisco High, Denison, all those teams. I mean, and they're all going to come back better. You know, Lovejoy's going to be better. Liberty's going to be better. I mean, 1 through 9 will all be better. And so going to be highly competitive. And I think that's what makes Texas high school football so great. It makes our district great, is that we're going to have some great teams and the opportunity to play against them.
Excellent. Well, we can't wait for this season. And like the sign says behind us, give them 3 claps. And good luck in 2021.
Well, thank you. Appreciate all y'all guys' support and your coverage. We look forward to a great 2021 season.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. You can catch the entire interview with head coach of Rock Hill, Mark Humble, on Thursday on our social media platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now it's time to bring in the one, the only Professor Diggs for the district breakdown.
All right, district breakdown time. There's my guy, Matt Diggs from theoldcoach.com. We're talking 7-5A Division II. How about that Lovejoy Leopards team last year? And there's a lot of fun teams in this year too. Frisco and the speedster Evan Stewart over at Liberty. Talk about how you think this is going to hash out.
You know, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. There is some turnover in the coaches. I think the most notable coach, we're losing Coach Rogers over at Denison and replacing it with Brent Whitson, the former South Grand Prairie coach, which you say South Grand Prairie, and that's been a program that in 6A, we'll talk about 6A in a few weeks, always top tier team. So, you know, when you have him coming to Denison, you know you're going to have quality. But this district is really loaded with good coaches as well, and a lot of good players. So when I look at it, I still think it's Lovejoy's district. I mean, you have such good players. Obviously, it's hard to lose, you know, the Westerveld and the Ruckers of the world. But, you know, they got the little Rucker coming back, Trent Rucker, the safety. So they'll have a little bit of that. But I think, you know, you never see something like Coach Rogers leaving. Obviously wanted to kind of just have some small schools and just have a different pace of life. But Denison is absolutely loaded as well. They got the quarterback coming back, Caleb Hevner, Jadarian Price, the running back, and Damian Smallwood, who is no small man. Denison is a team I'm really looking at. But dark horses, you kind of referred to it earlier. I really like Frisco Liberty as the third team. When I was doing research for this piece, I saw a piece that your boy Pat and Joseph Hoyt did on the quarterback who was a sophomore last year, Kelder Cluster. He's going to be a special quarterback, and he's got probably the best receiver coming back in the district, and Evan Stewart.
All right, I appreciate it. Hey, we're going to hit the last of our 5A districts next week, 8-5A, with the North Point, the coaches' row, as I call it, with Hal Watson, Randy Jackson, and Sam Harrow out there. So look forward to talking to you next week.
That's going to be a hard one to pick, so I'll have to do my research on that one.
Awesome. Ward, Diggs, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. Great insight as always. That's all we have for this week's episode of the Campfire. You can catch content going out all week long dedicated to 7-5A Division II. Until next time, though, I'm Ashley Bullington, and thank you for watching the Campfire.